everyone, welcome to John Majestic, our boss show, our boss talk today. Okay, so is there anybody online? If yes, just say hello to me. Right. Okay. So good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for watching our live show today. So we all understand that this coronavirus pandemic is making millions of people unemployed, and tons of people actually are struggling to make ends meet. So we are actually inviting different bosses from different backgrounds to share with us about their stories, how they fight against their struggles. So by doing so, we hope you could be inspired and it also could enlighten your day a little bit. And the guest that I am going to interview shortly, in fact, I do not know him personally. So I was quite impressed how he managed his struggles during this pandemic. I actually read through his stories in his Facebook post, and I just PM him. And out of surprise, he actually responded to me in just 10 minutes of time, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that's why we are here today. So if you are in F&B industry, this live show is going to meet for you. So you gotta just listen these stories. I promise that this stories is going to be an inspiring one for you. So who is this? Let's welcome Mr. Joshua from espressolab. Hi, Joshua.
Hi, Jess. Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for being our guest today. And how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I'm just sharing out your show right now on my handphone.
Yeah, you can share the show right now so that more people can actually listen to your stories, and more and more people can actually share about their stories and be inspired together. Yeah. So guys, we are going to give away 5 boxes of steepbru coffee sachets from espressolab throughout this in the end of this live show. So if you want to get this steepbru coffee sachet from espressolab, which is worth 25 ringgit, you got to stay tuned until the end of this show, because we are going to ask you few questions, and to those who are able to answer the questions correctly, then you could actually stand a chance to get this steepbru coffee sachet from espressolab. Right. So, okay. So Joshua, I was actually quite surprised that you actually responded to me in just a very short period of time, because I know that you received quite a lot of comments after you posted up your personal stories in your Facebook.
Yeah. I mean, it is like I said to you earlier. It is very important that we continue to encourage each other. And I find that if I'm, if whatever I'm sharing on my experiences in the journey of entrepreneurship and business can help encourage people, I guess that would be a good thing, right? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So perhaps you could actually introduce a little bit of yourself and why made you create espressolab. Like if I'm not mistaken, espressolab is established 10 years ago, right? So can you share with us what are the challenges along the way during your entrepreneurship?
Okay. So espressolab is a 10-year-old company. We started in 2011. So now is 2021, right? When we started, the coffee culture, or rather the specialty coffee culture, is in its infancy stage. So we started off as actually a barista education company. So we were set up to train and certify baristas. So that was our first. I think we are the first company in Malaysia to offer barista certifications according to the Specialty Coffee Association of Europe's syllabus. Right, that is how we started. But so this was a little shop in Publica, in back in 2011, and Publica was very new then. So this is the story actually. 2 young men walked into the shop around maybe 2 or 3 months after we started, and they said, "Hey, we like your coffee very much. Would you franchise? Would you be willing to franchise to us?" I said, "Huh? How can we franchise? We are such a new company. We're not even 6 months old." But I said, no, we
Yeah.
like your coffee. By then we started roasting some coffee. I said, we like your coffee. Everything is nice. And we've got a very good location. Would you be willing to do that? And we said, okay, if you trust us, let's do it. So we opened our first retail coffee shop. Okay, in Garden Smith Valley. That was back in 2012, 2012.
Okay.
So when we opened that shop, because the location was so prominent, a lot of inquiries came in. People say, "Hey, where's this coffee from? Where's this brand from? Did you import from US? Did you import from Australia?" No, it's 100% Malaysian. It's a hundred
Wow.
percent homegrown Malaysian company, right? And that was how we grew. Lots of inquiries. I think by 2015, we had about 30 locations in
Wow.
Malaysia and
So
Singapore.
so it's like 3 years time, right? 3 years later on,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
one become 30. Wow.
Yeah, 30 locations across Malaysia and Singapore as well. In fact, our second location was in Singapore, right? And by then we have become maybe we're not just a coffee shop. We roast our own coffee. We train baristas. We trade. We trade in coffee machines and equipment. We help people set up cafes and things like that. Uh, so that was the what you call it, the history, and obviously by I think by 2015, 2016, we have become uh, a little bit well known in Klang Valley and maybe across Malaysia as well. But then
Yes.
this is the challenges. This is you're asking about challenges in
Yeah.
2016 and 2018. It was a very tough time for us because by the time we had grown to 30 locations, 30 outlets, it is we realized we simply grow. You see, so these are the things that most people won't talk about. We made a lot of mistakes. We opened in locations that we should not have opened, and it actually dragged us down. A lot of this stuff I mean, just generally mistakes and just growth too fast in growing and stuff like that. So we suffered a very serious, and when you start to close down locations, cash flow is affected.
Yes.
There was a heavy load, and when we had so many employees back then, right? So 2016 to 2018, it was such a difficult time for us. We had to cut
Yeah.
costs, we had to lay off people, we had to restructure. But by the end of 2018, we managed to clean up the company, and we started 2019 with only 10 locations. So from 30, we went back down to 10. Okay, but 2019 was quite a good year for us. We managed to turn around. So 2019 became a what you call that, a profitable year for us. Even though with 10 outlets, they are all profitable, they are all doing pretty well. And so with that performance in 2019, we were so looking forward to 2020. And then you all know lah, 2020 hit us lah, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, the challenges is basically, as an entrepreneur, you a lot of things that are within your control, but there's also a lot of things that are out of your control. You see, so managing people, I would say managing people, managing humans, that was being in the retail industry. I guess that's the biggest challenges. So we have gone through a very difficult time in 2016 to 2018. We know we as the owners of the company, we don't take salary. We have not taken salary. We in fact took out our own savings, to try to save the company. And so these are all the difficult stuff that we go through. And then 2020 hit us. So
Oh my
this was
God.
this was horrible. Such a horrible situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was about to ask you this, during the first lockdown in last year, 2020. So what is the biggest impact for you and what is your first reaction? As you just mentioned, right, Espresso Lab is about to expand and suddenly, we all encounter this coronavirus all of a sudden. So what is your first reactions? And also after that, what are the steps you took to manage the situations? Yeah.
Okay. So when 2020 hit us, we were not panicking. I guess the whole country also was. So whatever I'm gonna share with you, I guess it probably resonates with a lot of people in the country. If you recall, we started off the year quite okay, But by then we were hearing about this virus that is
Yeah.
in China, in Wuhan, and then it spread to other places. We didn't have, so sales were quite subdued even during the Chinese New Year period. When it really hit our shores was when there were cases that are reported, and the government decided to say, hey, let's lock down the nation. So this is in March 17th. Okay, and that was the first MCO. So it was a very new situation for everyone in this country. No one in the world has gone through something like that, but a lot of people, a lot of good things that came out of it was that you say, you saw pictures that were shared all around the world that rivers become clean, birds are chirping,
Air is fresher.
right, yeah, that's right. So and then okay, so for Espresso Lab, what we went through in 2016 to 2018 was such a difficult time for us that this thing didn't hit us. We are like, okay, we are prepared for stuff like that. So lockdown, we, as long as we are able to manage costs, no business is all right, but you must be able to handle your costs. So if you recall, by end of June, early July, the government opened up the economy a little bit gradually, right?
Yeah.
So there was a bit more, and I think in I think it was reported in July or end of June last year, we had zero case. The same time
Yeah.
last year, we had zero case. So the government actually handled the pandemic quite well, right?
Yeah.
And so by July, wow, everyone was just raring to go. So when we started opening up, I mean, we are in the F&B business, when our outlets were allowed to open for dine-in, July, August, September. So those were great times for us. In fact, the sales bounced back to even better than before COVID.
Yep. Yep.
But
A lot of
what
industries the same. Yep.
That's right. You see, but what really hit is the Sabah elections, which really brought back a lot of numbers, right? And then the nation had to, Selangor, okay, Selangor and Klang Valley had to have a CMCO again, right?
Yeah.
Sometime in mid-October, which didn't affect the rest of the country, but Klang Valley, right? So we were who were Klang Valley centric really hit hard. So when you have a CMCO in one of the most prosperous state in the nation, and going into Christmas, all the sales is gone towards the end of the year. Okay, then they open up for a little while again, and then there was January. There was another lockdown. This is MCO 2.0, right? They call it. That was a bit of a desperation already, and we were going through. Okay, the Chinese people were going through Chinese New Year under a lockdown. So recounting this 2021. Going towards the after Chinese Year, towards this is the end of nearly towards the end of the second MCO. I was quite desperate in February, end of February, and I said, "Hey, the debts are piling up. That's meaning I have to pay loans to the banks. I have salaries that I have to pay, and I want to publicly now thank my employees, so my staff. They were very willing to go through this difficult time with the company by deferring their salary. I chose not to cut salaries. I chose not to retain the staff that still remain with me during the pandemic. But I said, are you all willing to let me defer your salary? But I was desperate because I said, hey, these people, all they have their own families. Where am I going to find cash to pay them? I've already taken out a lot of savings. And that's rentals. So much rentals accrued, and there was pressure on everyone. So that was when I actually did a Facebook post. So I wrote on my personal Facebook page, not on the company Facebook page. I said, hey, my business is in desperate situation. I need help. Okay, I mean, y'all can scroll to my. It was made public, you see. So that post was made public. I said, look, this is difficult times for me, but I'm not asking for charity. If you're willing to help me in this business, please buy my coffee, the steepbru sachets, which is a coffee sachets that we did,
Yes.
for people to buy and enjoy coffee at home. So we talk a little bit about that later. Don't treat it as charity, but if you want to help me as a friend, because this is my personal Facebook page, buy my
Right.
coffee. Okay, no, don't, no need. It's not a donation drive, or it's not a marketing campaign. Just help me. This is my target. I want to sell 10,000 boxes of coffee. That will help. I put it up on 27 February, I think. By 28, 24 hours, the amount of messages that came into my WhatsApp and Facebook was crazy. So
Wow.
to cut the long story short, within 1 week, I managed to sell 20,000 boxes, two times,
Wow.
two times the goal. So that was a big. It was so viral. I think it was shared nearly 10,000 times. Uh, I have the whole Malaysia contacting me. I have people from overseas. A lot of them, they came and they contacted me and say, I want to support, want to help. Most of the messages were like that. We do not want to see a Malaysian brand go down. Especially you all have been responsible in serving the public good coffee all these years. And I was so touched. I was thankful, and that was what I did. It was like I wanted to stress the fact that I wasn't doing a marketing campaign. I wasn't using the company to say, hey, please help, please help, please help. It was a personal thing that got shared. It got shared everywhere. And so when that happened, there was enough cash for us to pay some bills. Obviously, it doesn't solve all our problems because this pandemic is huge, but it gave me a breather, gave me a relief. So this was what happened. I was willing to be. So I was looking at the question. It says, "What are the steps you took to manage this?" I didn't manage. I was desperate. I was just being truthful. I was just being truthful and say, "Hey, please help me." And this is what happened.
Wow. Okay. I think this is. Thank you so much for sharing this inspiring story with all of us. I think this is really touching that you're able to sell like 20,000 boxes in just 1 week of time.
Yeah.
That's really unbelievable. Okay.
Y-
So
yes. We
yeah.
were struggling. We were struggling to keep up with demand. And as a matter of transparency, I wanted to update. Every few days I update the situation, because of the surge of orders. A lot of our suppliers, the packaging suppliers, the box manufacturers, they couldn't keep up and print the box in time with us, and so it delayed the deliveries
The
of the coffee
supply.
to people the people who ordered coffee from us. And a lot of people were quite upset actually. Sure lah, I want to help you. I pay money, and then my coffee is late. And then what are you? Is this a scam? So one of the challenges that I faced was, is this a
Okay.
scam? Yeah, people are asking, is this a scam? That kind of thing. But I was transparent. I put out all the updates, and
Yeah.
uh, most people
Yeah.
eventually they were quite understanding.
Yeah.
And we got through it.
Probably you can tell them good things is worth to wait. Just kidding. But who wants to jeopardize their own reputations, right? By selling just street brew sachet coffees that you have been building up your business for over 10 years. Why want to
Yeah.
jeopardize your own reputation just like that?
Well,
For me, it's like, yeah, for me, reputation is everything. For money, money, if we lose the money, we can actually earn back throughout the time. But for reputation, once it's tarnished, it's a forever thing.
yeah.
So, what makes you to create this street brew coffee sachets, and how long it takes to do this to create these street brew coffee sachets, and overall, how's the response after launching these coffee sachets? It's been some times already, right, since you launched this. So, how's the response right now?
Okay. I actually created this during the first MCO. I won't use the word create lah. We always realized we could have a product like that. So let me give you a very very short example or story about how
Yeah.
this product came about. Now, prior to COVID, people who drink coffee in Malaysia, people who love coffee. Okay. So let's just take Klang Valley lah. Let's not take the whole nation. Let's just take Klang Valley. Do you know that most people who wake up in the morning, they don't have the luxury to even have breakfast in their own homes, generally speaking?
Oh,
Do you
okay.
remember? Okay, you think and see. Anyone who is working, they wake up, first thing they do, they need to beat the jam, they need to rush to work, right? Or either that or they need to send their kids to school. So we are talking about pre-COVID situation. Huh? So actually, not that many people actually have the luxury to wake up, enjoy their own breakfast at home. So the people who wake up, they have to rush to work. This is Klang Valley situation, isn't it? And they rush to work. They have to send their kids to school. Their first cup of coffee usually is near the office or at the office. Coffee shops like us are near these areas. We usually get a lot of business at 7 in the morning. Okay, there's a queue. Okay, for near office, not office areas. Then let's say by lunchtime you want a second cup. So the second cup of coffee you probably have at your wherever you are having your lunch. And then maybe by 3 to 5 o'clock, you want a break, you come down to the nearby cafe and have a cup of coffee. Okay, so if people actually had 3 cups of coffee in a day, that was typical journey of generally a coffee lover who had coffee, because after 6 o'clock you don't want to have coffee, right?
Yeah.
You by the time you reach home, you're tired. Uh, you're not gonna have coffee. Then the whole cycle repeats itself. So we make, as a coffee company, we make most of our revenue comes from the fact that people go into our outlets and we make a cup of coffee for them, right?
Right.
Now, when the pandemic happened, a lot of people are still working, but they're working from home. This is a new experience for most Malaysians.
Right.
And when they are working from home, they realize, hey, I'm still working, but what happened to my coffee? How am I going to get coffee? So you can see there was a surge, there was a surge in orders. Coffee machines sales were going up, from people like Harvey Norman, Best Denki, and all that. All kinds of coffee products were going up for domestic coffee. So we
Yeah.
decided to say, hey, let's look for a product. Let's do a product that we can actually send into people's house. Deliveries are not that great in the sense that if you order a cup of hot coffee, by the time it reaches you, it's not that hot anymore, right? So we have this thing, and we say, hey, the mass market is very important. So we do a coffee sachet. A sachet means it's a filter. It's a filter with our coffee in it. When you just put in the cup and then you pour hot water, that's it.
Yeah.
You get coffee. So the idea was to get this into the homes of people as much as possible, as fast as possible. But it didn't happen. I told you this was in May and June.
Okay.
It didn't happen. Only people only found out about it after that viral post I did in February. So from then onwards, I think a lot of people wrote about. A lot of newspapers wrote about it. A lot of online media picked up. Generally, Malaysians suddenly got to know about this steepbru coffee. So now, what I'm doing is suddenly from being a coffee outlet, physical store operator. Now we have to pivot a lot of things online,
Yeah.
and to be able to get it out to the people. So yeah, it's been doing great. What we are doing is trying to get it very consistent.
Right.
Consistent in the
Cool.
sense, yeah.
Good. Good to hear that. So Joshua, how many branches right now? Espresso Lab 10, right? As you
We have
mentioned.
10. We have 10. But in this period of time, only three is operating, like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Doesn't make very much
Where are the
sense.
locations?
Oh,
Location.
we have it in Bandar Utama, in Menara KPMG. We have it in Menara CIMB. We have it in Mercu UEM, KL Central. We have it in Empire Subang. One of our flagship outlets is Bangsa Shopping Center. We have it in Astro, Great Eastern Mall. We have one in Ipoh Garden, the one which you have been
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. I
Okay.
visited it before.
Yeah. So this kind of locations lah.
Okay, cool. So, guys, we have a prep for you today. So, you guys could actually get a chance to get this street brew coffee sachet that just mentioned by Joshua at the end of this live show. But what you're going to do is you're going to like the Espresso Lab Facebook page and also our Job Majestic Facebook page. And also, you need to answer our questions later on correctly so that you can have a chance to walk away with this deep brew coffee sachets. All right. So I hope that you guys would really enjoy this coffee after this. So just stay tuned to our show. So, you guys can leave any questions in the comment section box here, so we could actually answer it accordingly. Okay, Joshua. Somebody say that they try the coffee and it's really good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Some people commented never ending MCO.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. So you drink more coffee at home.
Yeah, just okay. Yeah, a good cup of coffee can enlighten our day. And some people mention entrepreneurship is like a roller coaster journey.
Yes, yes, it is. It is ups and downs. The thing is, not enough people are willing to share the ups and the downs, at the same time, and to say, hey, we are not exactly doing that great, but this is what it is like, but there's
Yeah,
enough people out there. There's enough people out there who we can encourage each other and do something tangible, even in the midst of this pandemic.
true. Yeah. So I think, like I just mentioned to you, it's a matter of timing. I think things will get better, definitely get better. It's just a matter of timing. So we just have to hang on there lah. Yeah. So, okay, the questions number 3, I feel is quite interesting, Joshua, because you know what? I actually know quite a lot of business owners, like my clients as well, and many of them are quite afraid to ask for help. But you actually requested support from your social media, and that's how you gain tremendous support from everywhere, right? So
Yeah.
it actually takes strength to do so. So can you share with us, like, how do you build your courage to ask for help, or what actually makes you to post your personal stories online? Yeah.
I was desperate. Look, I guess it takes humility, yes, but I have to thank God. I'm a Christian. I thank God, for His grace and His strength. He has given me a lot of peace throughout this situation.
Yeah.
Being a Christian, we are taught that there is an eternity, and we look forward to the eternity. Whatever we are going through now is tough times, but He's there in the storm with us. But to be able to share your heart out and say, "Hey, I'm in trouble," I suppose it's about being truthful, and to be humble enough to realize that, hey, I'm not a Superman. I'm not such a great businessman. Not I'm not like so smart or so great that I can do everything on my own. I need help. I need help. It is actually very simplistic, very childlike faith that says, "Look, this is the situation. We are in trouble. Please
Yeah.
help." So courage comes from the fact that you don't know lah. You don't know what you don't know, and you just say it out. It's being truthful. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it actually takes a lot of courage to do so, and most of the business owners that I know is like they still feel afraid to ask for help, even though they are actually experiencing this downtime. Yeah. So okay, but but
But a
but
lot
what
of people are asking for help now. There is a
really?
white flag movement. There is, I mean,
Uh-huh.
people are just crying
Uh,
out for help.
uh,
The F&B industry is especially hard hit, right? And I belong to a group called the Malaysian F&B or Operators Alliance. This is a grouping of it's a very informal grouping, a Telegram channel that all the food and beverage operators, they got together and say, hey, let's support each other, let's help each other. And we've been doing our best to engage with the government, with the policymakers, with whoever that we can, and said, hey, look, you got to do this, you got to help us, you got to help us with rental subsidies, you got to help us with wage subsidies, stuff like that, tangible stuff. There is a big group out there. You just need to reach out and be willing to ask.
right.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say is like and what I hope people here that can understand is asking for help sometimes is a sign of strength. Asking for help doesn't mean that you are a failure.
Mm.
So I think this is very very important, and what you can see from Joshua's stories, right? Once he asked for help, what he received is tremendous support from everywhere. So this is pretty amazing. I think sometimes we have to let go our ego, and we have to learn how to ask for help when it is necessary. So I think this is pretty important thing.
No, but I
And
I just want to I just want to say that
yeah,
failure. You
yeah,
said failure. Failure is an event, not a person,
true,
right? What
true.
happened? The failures that happened to me were events. I'm not a failure. Failure is not a person. Failure is an event. The mistakes you make will probably cause failure in the situation or the circumstances or the results, but those are events. Failure is an event. Failure is not a person. A person is you and me. We are human beings, so when we are able to run out of that mindset, then we don't get bogged down with that. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I just hope everybody can feel a little bit better, after listening to our live shows today. And yeah, Last but not least, I would like to ask you the question is like, is there any advices or any words that you can give so that you could encourage those F&B operators out there who are also suffering the same situation? Yeah,
I
especially
don't.
the, yeah.
I believe I don't have all the answers, but if you are talking about not just F&B operators, any business, if cash flow, you just need to cut costs. You just need to take away the stuff that are unnecessary. But having, for me to say this in this period of time, it's kind of difficult for everyone to take because, to be honest, Jess, there's nothing much we can cut anymore.
Yes.
So if you ask me what is the advice, we really have to cry out for help. And the problem is this. I mean, the greatest thing is this. There is enough resources in Malaysia. There is enough resources in the government actually to be able to help. So okay, I do not want to turn this into a political talk show, but the fact is, our government actually do have the ability to help. They just need to be able to be, to dare to make the politically unpopular choices and decisions that help the people who are suffering. There is enough resources in the country. Number two, just ask around. For example, that's how you connected to me was through that Facebook page, Facebook post in the entrepreneurs and startup page. When you open your mouth and ask, there's enough people that say, hey, we can connect, we can do this together. We can say, okay, maybe I will close with this. One of the very tangible things, so instead of just talking about intangible stuff or things that are in the air, let's talk about something tangible we can do. We can actually do barter trade. We can
Okay.
actually we can offer our services. Okay, for example, Jess, you are a headhunter. You're doing consultancy services for HR, and there are a lot of people who need jobs, so there is a need. Then there are people who have jobs to offer. There's a supply and demand. You are someone who gets paid a fee for performing your services. But if people who can't afford you at the moment, but they do have a need, he says, okay, since you can't pay me now, maybe you pay me later, or maybe you pay me with coffee vouchers. For example, let's say I said, hey, I do need some help, in looking for certain positions to be, but I can't afford your services, Jess. Can you help me?
Yeah.
He says, oh, but I know someone who needs the job. I'm willing to get the person to do this. As for my fees, if you can't afford, hey, why don't you give me coffee lah? Give me 10 cups of coffee a month for the next 12 months, for example. And there are plenty of services, products and services out there which we can actually barter in these difficult times. And that is a very tangible way we can help each other with cash flow.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty cool idea. I think there's one Chinese saying goes we always say it's like 抱团取暖. It's like together, right? We can create a very good energy vibe to help each other. Yeah.
Correct.
So I think I think at this period of time, right, we all are suffering. So the only solutions, what you say just now, is like we have to be united lah. Right, basically, so that together we can do more things. That's how we can actually solve the current situations right now. Yeah. Okay, so all right, I think guys, perhaps you've been waiting for quite long already. So the questions that I'm going to ask, right, for you guys to stand a chance to win, to get this steepbru coffee sachet from espressolab is, okay. So the first questions I'm going to ask is like, how many branches of espressolab right now? Okay, so those who can answer this question, you can just leave your answer in our comment section box below. So later on, our team would pick the winner and inform you guys accordingly how to redeem that.
Yeah.
Can I repeat? Yeah. So my question is, how many branches of espressolab right now? And okay, perhaps I will ask another question. Can you name one locations of espressolab? Okay, just name any one locations of espressolab, right? So whoever can answer this, and we will pick the winner after this live show. Please don't forget to like our Facebook page, yeah, for Espresso Lab Asia Facebook page and also Job Majestic Facebook page. Okay. Right, Joshua, thank you so much for sharing with
Thank
us
you.
today. Yeah, I mean, your stories is really, really inspiring. It's really
Thank
inspiring.
you.
And yeah,
Thanks for inviting me to be here. Stay
yeah.
strong, stay safe, and also there are people out there who can go through this together with us.
Well, for me, it's like because I'm also running my own business. I'm also running
Mm-hmm.
my recruitment firms since 2016. So it's been 6 years already. So for me, it's like when you are a business owners, right? Problems are bound to arise. You know, it's like
Mm.
problems. It's like a never-ended things in throughout the whole journey of entrepreneur. So whatever we do is, I think one of the traits of being an entrepreneur is you have to be really resourceful. No
Yeah,
matter what situations we come across, we got to be resourceful enough to tackle the problem. I think we all encounter problems every day, right? Almost every day we are
exactly,
solving problems.
exactly. You only get paid if you solve problems.
Yes, true, true. That's a fact. Yeah. So okay. So I hope you guys enjoy these episodes. And if you're running your F&B business, I hope this video and this live show is going to be inspiring for you. Please share this video if you think it can help other people. And I shall see you guys next Friday, 8:30 p.m. again. Thank you so much, Joshua. Thanks again for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you. See you guys.